Greetings from the Terran Empire. Have you ever considered who you would really be in the mirror universe in Star Trek? I have, and you should be afraid. Very afraid.
Hi, I'm Nikki, and this is 6 for 60, the show where I tell you 6 things that I love about Star Trek in honor of the 60th anniversary of the franchise. So let's be honest. This is episode 33, and each week it is not 6 things that I love. It's a rough grouping of 6 things that I like to ramble about for about 15 or so minutes. Um, and it's stuff I like, stuff I don't like, random questions that I have. But I thank you if you have been with me from the first episode to episode 33, or if this is the first episode you've ever watched. I just want to continue to share my love of Star Trek with you guys. So tonight in episode 33, I'd like to chat for a minute about the mirror universe. So, I did debate who should record this video, Prime Universe Nikki or Mirror Universe Nikki, but that wig was hot and I had to come out of it. So, you get Prime Universe Nikki tonight.
Or why not a gender swap in the mirror universe?
Okay, so the first thing on my list is Mirror Universe versus Parallel Universe. So, if you're familiar with Star Trek franchise, which I assume you are because you're watching the show, we got the mirror universe in TOS. Very famously, and transporter accident, Kirk, uh, Uhura, and Scotty and Bones end up in this mirror universe. And it's crazy. People are evil. You advance by killing your superiors. It's just a wild time for everybody. The uniforms are awesome though. And Kirk is still surrounded, by his regular crew and his best buddy and friend, Spock. And he manages to appeal to Spock's logic to help him to see the error of this current uh, political situation in this universe. And he encourages him to use a powerful weapon that's in the captain's quarters to help make changes, to move towards a more peaceful and unified universe, something that looks more like the Prime Universe Federation. So that's what we get in TOS. And we also see that follow up in the many other shows. We get it in DS9 and in Discovery. We continue to see more of the mirror universe. For whatever reason, we do not get the mirror universe in TNG. We get many views into parallel universes where it's the same basic, political structure for the most part, and people are the same, but their circumstances might be slightly different. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that this evening. Okay, so number 2 is TOS. Well, I kind of already covered um, that TOS in the mirror universe. And it was very funny. So if you've never seen that particular episode, at the end, I'd suggest you go back and watch it. And Kirk is like, well, how in the world did our counterparts work here? How long did it take you to notice that it wasn't us? And Spock was just like, immediately, because it's easier for a civilized person to pretend to be a savage than a savage to pretend to be a civilized person. I'm sure I mangled that quote, that statement, but you get the general idea. So that's Mirror Universe. And they only did one episode about the Mirror Universe. It was the one and done. So number 3, we get to TNG, and TNG avoided the mirror universe altogether. Instead, they had parallel universes. And I'm not sure why they chose to avoid the mirror universe, because to me it would have been, I mean, they could have gone so many different directions. They could have taken a very, very serious route like Discovery, or they could have had fun with it and just, can you imagine a mirror universe Picard? Um, would he have been like in one of the parallel episodes where Q has Picard go back and he didn't get in that fight with the Nausicaan. And so he just ended up being just a run of the mill, regular officer that nobody paid any attention to. He was just kind of milk toast. Um, or would he have been maybe a funny Picard? I don't know, but I think a mirror universe Picard would have been hysterical. Or just they could have done some really interesting things with it. The same with Barkley. Can you imagine a badass Barkley in the mirror universe? They could have done so many wonderful things, but for whatever reason, they chose not to go there. So for TNG, believe it was, uh, I'll count them later. It was a lot. So the first one was Parallels in season 7, episode 11, and Worf is kind of free floating, bouncing around through time, but also on a quantum level. So he's in different realities, and it kind of centers around this Batleth tournament he's in. So sometimes he's a champion, sometimes he's a runner-up, sometimes he's first, second place. In some universes, he's married to Troy and they have kids, and sometimes, he's not. It's just a lot. And of course, at the end, they managed to get him back to his appropriate quantum signature universe. But, for the most part, everything is the same. They're just very slight variances. Like his quarters are decorated differently. In the second episode, right, the Federation has lost battle with the Borg. Well, the entire war. With the Borg, and that's called Yesterday's Enterprise, and that was season 3, episode 15. Then we get All Good Things in season 7, episodes 25 and 26, and that's the one I was talking about before, where Q forces Picard to go back and kind of relive his life without that adventure and kind of wild, edge to himself that he had as a young person. And these are good episodes. It's nothing wrong with them. It's kind of like, the Marvel idea of the multiverse, and a lot of other, franchises have multiverse theories. And if I get a chance, I will try and find some scientific YouTube videos to throw in the comments about the multiverse theory. And there have been lots of fun movies about the multiverse, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I really enjoyed that one, and there have been, many others about the potentiality of a multiverse. So, but for the most part, the Star Trek franchise has focused on a mirror universe. So we get to DS9, I'm sorry, and I'm on number 4 on my list. And DS9 had 5 multi mirror universe episodes. So we go from the TOS episode where Spock, you know, influences folks to change. And that leads us to the DS9 episodes where the Terran Empire has collapsed and the Klingons and the Cardassians have now basically enslaved humanity. And we're the lowest of the low in the social hierarchy in that universe. So we get crossover season 2, episode 23. Um, Kira and Bashir end up over in the mirror universe. Then we get Through the Looking Glass, season 3, episode 19, where they come and kidnap Cisco. And he has to imitate the other Cisco to help them get through some things, and he convinces that Jennifer's universe to come over and help the humans to fight. Then you get Shattered Mirror, season 4, episode 19, where Jennifer kidnaps Jake to get Cisco to come back and help them work the kinks out of the Defiant so that they can fight some more. You get Resurrection, season 6, episode 8, where Belial comes from the Mirror Universe. He comes back and he tries to convince Kira. Well, and actually does. He does some machinations, and he ends up stealing a cloaking device for for Mirror Universe Kira to come and get. But he has a little conscience at the end, and just takes Kira back to the Mirror Universe and does not take the cloaking device with him. But they don't give up. So you get the final Mirror Universe episode in DS9, The Emperor's New Cloak, where Emperor Zek, that man is a menace, has gone to the Mirror Universe to try and make, some latinum. And he gets kidnapped, and then Quark and Rom have to go try and save him. And they demand a cloaking device to free Zek. And of course, there's lots of shenanigans afoot. And at the end, the Alliance ends up with the cloaking device. And Zek is returned. And you get to see more Mirror Universe Worf, who is funny. Mirror Universe Garrick. It's just sad. And we get a Mirror Universe Ezri, if you enjoy Ezri. So again, DS9 was really into it with 5 episodes in the Mirror Universe, but nobody went as hard in the Mirror Universe as Discovery. I dare say if you got rid of a Mirror Universe, you wouldn't even have Discovery. So we get there, and they had 7 Mirror Universe episodes. And of course, you have to love it because we have Michelle Yeoh. Ah! So just wonderful. I loved all of those Mirror Universe episodes. So you get the first one, Despite Yourself, in season 1, episode 10. And then you get The Wolf Inside, again, season 1, episode 11. Vaulting Ambition, season 1, episode 12. What's Past is Prologue, season 1, episode 13. Terra Firma, parts 1 and 2, that's season 3, episodes 9 and 10. And then you get Mirrors, season 5, episode 5. So I cannot talk about all 7 of these episodes, but it is the existence of the Mirror Universe and the ability to traverse easily between the two is key to moving the plot line of Discovery along. You find uh, once Michael loses her Captain Giorgio, she gets the one from the alternate universe who, plays her part, even though she's still evil deep down in her soul. Although you see how she ended up kind of on the evil path if you watch the Section 31 movie. They give you a little more of her history there, and you see the pain and tragedy and what she had to give up in order to take a leadership position in that universe, and just how harsh it was. But anyway, I'm drifting. I'm trying to stay on track tonight and not hold you all too long. Uh, so my favorite part about Discovery is that at the end we find out that our prime universe and the mirror universe are moving further apart, and it's harder and harder to travel between the two. So that's what's making um, our mirror universe Georgia sick. And in a way, I was very, very excited at that notion because hopefully it means a new track coming out. We won't have any more mirror universe episodes. And I'm sure somebody's going, Nick, why? Why would you be happy that there would be no more um, mirror universe episodes? Well, I'll tell you. And that's my number 6. And I'm just going to ramble for a minute. Like, Nick, you've been rambling the whole time. It's okay. It's all right. So, first, the upside for the mirror universe is that the writers always use it to teach great lessons. Starting with the very first mirror universe episode in TOS, because basically it's like, hey, times might be hard and difficult, but it's never too late to make a change. It's never too late to use your logic and your compassion and your empathy and try and do things in a better way. So, yay, TOS, always with the amazing lessons that just kind of slap you right in the face. You don't have to, dig too deep to get to what they're trying to tell you. The downside is that a lot of times I personally feel like the mirror universe is overused. So just me personally, I could have done without um season 7 episodes of DS9, the Mirror Universe episodes. I didn't really get a whole lot out of them. I don't think they really explored anything new. Um, I guess they were just filler episodes, and didn't need them, and they were okay, perfectly, usable, but yeah. um, but my biggest issue with the Mirror Universe is the idea that all the same people are in the same timeline, and that they're there in the mirror universe. So if we start with TOS, question, would half-breed Spock have been there? Would he even exist in the universe that they described? So you have to think about the situations that had to occur for his parents to meet. And then the same for DS9. Would we have Bashir? Because his parents had to have him genetically altered because he was so developmentally delayed. Would we have had Bashir running around on Tarek Noor? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And the same with, O'Brien. In conversations, O'Brien mentions that he was just a regular old soldier, and the only reason he kind of started with the engineering is because he had to get a transporter up and running, or he was going to die, and all of his crewmates were going to die. So that came out of, that immediate necessity. So it doesn't make any sense that we would have technical O'Brien on Tarek Noor doing technical stuff. It just doesn't, because there was no military for him to be on. How did he get there? There was no reason for him to be out there. And let's look at Kira. Kira was born to parents who met and married during wartime when the Cardassians had captured Bajor. So would her parents have gotten together? You know? And then also there were no prophets in the mirror universe. So if the prophets weren't influenced by Benjamin Sisko, they would not have known to go back in time. And I understand they're non-linear, so back in time is not a thing to them. But from our viewpoint, they would not have known to go back in time if he had not introduced the concept of linear time to them, to have Sarah go get with his dad so that Benjamin would exist. So how do you explain Benjamin Sisko looking and walking and talking as the product of, these two people, if there were no prophets there to um, influence. I I don't think the mirror universe at its foundation makes any sense. Just to me, it does not. Parallel universe makes perfect sense. Absolutely. But a mirror universe where you have the same people, if you have these just wildly different political situations on planets and in the universe and the galaxy, you're not going to get the same results. These people are not going to exist. Um, so I just think about, myself, all the little things that played into my parents showing up on the same college campus, and the fact that, my dad decided to go to lunch with a friend on a particular day and see my mom walking across campus on that day. Maybe if he had decided not to go to lunch with his friend that day, he wouldn't have seen my mom. Maybe not to say that he would never would have seen her on campus, but just that particular day he was smitten. But maybe, he would see her 3 weeks later and would have a sinus headache that day and just wouldn't be in the mood, to meet anybody. There's so many little teeny tiny things that influence you. If you're familiar with Doctor Who and that great episode Turn Left, where Donna turns the opposite of what she's supposed to and the whole universe basically implodes because Donna didn't turn left. Um so I'm just saying, yay, mirror universe as a plot device, but it really truly does not make any sense at all. And so I am thrilled that Discovery kind of set the foundation that if we get more Star Trek set beyond Discovery or in the Discovery, network and beyond, we're just not going to get any more Mirror Universe episodes, and I will be very grateful and thankful that there won't be anymore. But I know there are a lot of people who do love the Mirror Universe. So let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, or if you just don't care, if you never gave it any thought at all. I'm sure it doesn't irritate most people the way it irritates me. Um, but that being said, I still love every episode of Star Trek, of all of the various series. I won't say I love all the movies, but I appreciate that they exist. So, anyway, friends, after all of the long rambling, I hope you all live long and prosper. And if you ever meet your mirror universe self, I hope you get along. I was so busy trying to get to the part where I got to ramble and talk about my issues with the mirror universe. I completely forgot Enterprise also had 2 mirror universe episodes. Season 4, episodes 18 and 19, In a Mirror Darkly, parts 1 and 2, where they, again, trying to be out there 100 years before Kirk and Spock. And it was okay. They were decent. Like I said, Enterprise really started to take off for me in season 3. So if you want to make sure you get all of the Mirror Universe episodes, don't forget about Enterprise like I did. Okay? Again, live long and prosper, friends.